Dear listeners, welcome back to the ASEF podcast. My name is Jakub Timotej Stojanov Ponda, ASEF Fellow 2021 and host of ASEF series Insights from the Top. In this series, our goal is to chat and get inspiring insights from well-known and respected Slovenian leaders and entrepreneurs who share with us their thoughts about their core values, lessons learned throughout their careers, and their vision for Slovenia regarding their fields of expertise. ASEF Podcast is part of ASEF, or the American Slovenian Education Foundation, an organization that aims to enhance American and Slovenian educational activities and unite Slovenian scholars, students, and entrepreneurs from around the globe. Today we are hosting Mr. Stanovnik, CEO of Špica International, a company dealing with creative ways of finding efficiency in the workplace through workforce management solutions. Mr. Stanovnik, we are honored to have the opportunity to speak with you today. Since the year 1989, you have worked with the company Špica International. Could you perhaps tell us a bit about the beginnings of your business career and what inspired you most at the start?
Thank you very much for invitation. I'm very proud for this invitation. But I must say that, I'm not just working in a Špica, I'm also the founder of Špica and of course owner also. So this is like my child. Špica is the company now 30 years old, but it begins even 10 years before. And of course, we have built this company from zero. I was in 1984 some kind of freelancer because at that time we didn't have a chance we were still in East Europe and we didn't have a chance to open our own company, but we can be some kind of freelancers. I was even a part of, art in Slovenia because I was in a radio student technician like DJ, and a lot of my co-friends in a radio student, they have their own punk band. So I was in the middle of the punk revolution, but I was not really a good singer neither. I didn't play any instrument, so I decided to go in technical way, and at that time it was right time for open business with microcomputers. It was the right time when microcomputers arrived in the market, and I was really lucky because it was a right time for such entrepreneur, even if there was not allowed in East Europe this kind of entrepreneur approach. Maybe one step before I can explain. All of my uncles were lawyers. And even I was convinced, let's say on the end of the primary school, that I will be 100% for sure I will become a lawyer. Of course, you have a nice picture of your uncles and you won't be the same. However, the fate then pushed me into secondary school in mathematics and physics class. I don't know why, but I'm now very grateful because I developed out of this event and trigger a passion for technology, for computers, and especially in secondary school, we start to produce our own, let's say, amplifiers, and we play with music a lot. And then, of course, in university, we start immediately, of course, with microcomputers. There were small computers in Europe which you can smuggle in the car from Germany to Slovenia, because Slovenia was still at that time in the East Europe, so under the iron wall, and we need to smuggle our computers. but we were smart a lot, and radio student was for me like. Like another planet. So because around me was very smart students, a lot of them with alternative approaches, and of course computers at that time was huge revolution, and for me was this also from my point of view was also a revolution. So at that time, as I said, if you are musicians, then you need to have punk band in your garage. If you are more technical, then you need to have new company, okay, pseudo company in garage. Because we don't have, of course, in the very beginning a lot of these microcomputers, we also play with pirate radio stations and such, and developed technical skills which help us a lot later, because you need to, if you want to come into the market, you need to be very agile, smart. uh, Maybe I explain also how we get the first capital. Today you need to have VC, venture capitalist, who gave you some money to for startup. Yeah, at that time there was, of course, no such capital on the market. Let's say. And then what we have done is I go out in the street and I sell student magazine. At that time was Tribuna and Mladina. Uh, those uh, those two magazines sell very well. Why? Because at that time, at the same time, Slovenia also go apart from Yugoslavia, and this student movement was the most active in this time. So everyone want to buy this kind of magazines. So I earn quite a lot of money, because I work almost 24 hours. I sleep very short, and I sell a lot of these magazines even in the evening, in the buses, and this was a great starting capital for my new company, Špica. And then we go through some phases. So we didn't start, of course, everything on my side. I have four colleagues. I had four colleagues in university, co-students, and we go together. One was for technical side, so more product. One was software, one was hardware, and I was sales. So we developed a really nice team. We all co-founded Špica, and this was some kind of start of Špica.
Okay, very interesting. So how has the company developed throughout the 30 plus years of its operation? And how has your business model changed with time?
Yeah, thank you. Very good question. I remember in very beginning I took a finance course for technicians. Let's say finance course for dummies. Yeah, and I estimate it was in a Bled, in a very famous school in Bled, and it was very expensive at that time. For me, it was too expensive. At that time, it was 4,000 Deutschmarks, which was a huge amount, but I decided to go it because I was technicians and my economic and finance knowledge was low. I estimate today that it was the very smart move, because as technicians, it's very important that you have a good economic foundation. Um, uh, I work a bit, very short time in the first Slovenian IT company. At that time, it was called Microhit. In Microhit, was even at that time also, let's say, some guys like Janis Janša was also there. So we were there as one, as a team with all ideas how to develop new enterprise in Slovenia. So, but this microhit didn't succeed because of this shortage of knowledge, economic knowledge. They take too many credits. They grow very fast because they import computers from Far East and sell in the domestic market. It was huge and big business, but they take too much credit, and they go apart quite quickly. So we go ourselves in a microhit Špica. Why we then changed the name in a Špica International? Because I don't know if you understand, the name Špica in Slovene language is Špica. And Špica, it means that you must narrow your focus if you want to go internationally. Our idea from very beginning was we must export. You understand, if you are born in Slovenia, you are exporter by nature, because you have only 2 hours to every border. So it's almost must. That's why for Slovene companies the export is the biggest success if you look in economic success of Slovenia. So at that time we think we must export, and that's why we put in the name Špica, which is narrow regarding the product, but we add on Špica International, Špica International. So we like to add on this international to show to the whole world that our plan is to export. And of course, we go through different technology, tsunami, let's say, from microcomputers, then we go into networks of computers, then we go into Windows, from DOS to Windows. I'm talking about this business model which you ask. So these are quite big changes. From Windows we go to internet, from internet we go into the cloud, and this is where we are living right now. So the current business model which we are living, and the revolution in IT which we are living, is changing from on-prem computer to cloud. Selling before we selling licenses, software licenses. Now we are selling subscription. And if I want to show you this more like a picture, I can say it's so big change as in automobile industry, where they are going from let's say from benzene, from oil to electricity. So the same change we are living in IT business, and of course the big change in a business model too.
So let's talk a little bit about your services, since you already mentioned them a little bit. How does performance of companies increase with the use of your services?
Yeah, again, very good question. Very often I met director, my let's say directors of companies in, let's say, in elevator. So I have just few minutes to explain them what we are doing, what we are selling, and a lot of those directors know me already. So they said, Stanovnik, don't try to sell me this time management. I don't care for time. I care just for result. And of course, because in Slovenia we don't have huge buildings, we are already in the down floor in the garage, and I follow this director to the car and try to explain him in a few seconds that the main KPI is not just the time, it's not just the result, that they must measure the efficiency. And when you measure efficiency, you very often you need to put result in the context. So you need to divide result by time, and probably this time now is a huge there are huge crises around us. So we have war, we have COVID, we have financial crisis. So those crises developed problematic regarding how to grow your result. So if you can't grow result, then you can squeeze down the time in which you can reach the result. So I don't know if I explain well, but efficiency you can develop by growing result or squeezing the time which is under the uh, 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 and this is very important to understand, and this is important that you always look the KPIs in the context. So that's why I of course I'm a big fighter for measuring the time, and maybe we will have later possibility to explain you that the time measurement is not just clock in, clock out, which was maybe before. It's also planning the time. So to see in front of you 14 days, let's say, what will go on, and who will be ready to work on this and this machine. Then you can segment your time by task, by let's say by job. Then you can track and trace, of course, absence. Then you can also analyze this circle: plan, do, check, analyze. And if you do these daily circles, or let's say continuous improvement, behind is a Deming approach: plan, do, check, analyze. This is a typical approach which you will find also in startups. They said build, measure, learn. Build, measure, learn. This is for me very important because I learned this ISO 9000, and we built ISO 9001 into Špica in 95, so long ago, and it's very important to grow your company steadily. We didn't grow as a gazella, but we grow company steadily, and I believe this is very important. Some companies grow too fast, and this is probably sometimes issue which burn them down.
Basically, you mean very much optimization of time, let's say.
Yes. Uh, Time optimization is probably one area where directors must work a lot these days, because we are not living just in a company, in a work part of our life. This is maybe approach which Japanese are using, and then they die on in a workplace. Yeah, we need to work hard that we squeeze the time which co-workers use to finish the result. Of course, they need to go home to the families, to the sport, to the activities, and of course to sleep too, so that next day they come back motivated to work, and to engage with the work, and finish again. So we need to see efficiency, not just efficiency of work, but efficiency of our daily life. This is very important, not to look a micro approach into work only, but into look a helicopter view in macro approach. So to divide time into the part of the day of every co-workers, which is also family, as I said, sport, and so on. So as a director, you must understand this, and not to squeeze people, because you will lose them, especially nowadays, because the employment is the percentage of unemployed people is very low, especially in IT business, and it's a big fight also in Slovenia for all those people, girls and boys, which know technology and IT a bit better. Yeah.
So, speaking of efficiency, what would you say? What does a good life-work balance mean to you?
Yeah, um, I already speak regarding this with you. Um, of course, there are some tries that we let's say change the work week from 5 days to four. I don't know what will be exact in the future, but probably we already change work 100% in company into the work where you partly work at home. And because we are living in a different context, when you are young you probably have young children at home, and you need to spend sometimes more time at home. um, then you have, let's say, in a second part of your life, you you have a chance that you spend more time, let's say, in a company, because the children already grow. You have some money already in a account, and so you don't need to care that much for, let's say, for family. Of course you need to care for partner also, but anyhow, let's say me, me personally, I'm now, let's say, in a third part of life. And I always said it's like hockey game. In hockey you have three parts. In the last part, very often, goal getter is going out of the goal and try to reach the best result on the end of the game. You have the same in basketball. You have pressing in the whole playground. So it's a big fight. So I feel myself like I'm now in this part of my life. But of course, people are different. So I have a lot of young generation in the company, and I understand that they have some family issues, they have some other issues, and right balance, I believe, is depending on which part of the life you are living.
So, how did the company Špica International tackle the time during and after COVID? Remote work probably provided a unique opportunity for new solutions concerning workforce management.
Um, yes, of course. We were very glad. We were, let's say, we were lucky. Let's say, because COVID bring some technologies which was before already on the market, but the customer don't care to use it over the night. So over the night they need to go home and use, I don't know, remote computing, mobile computing. Let's say before we have our solution, software solution on mobile phone, but not a lot of customer use this client on mobile phone. When this COVID arrived, all the companies start to buying this kind of module for mobile solutions. So you can then, let's say, use mobile phone for a lot of different features in our software, which before was not used. And we were quite lucky, because we developed some features which were exactly for such kind of work, where you work from home, where you work in office, when you're asking for special permission to have for problem. If you have COVID COVID illness, then you can ask from wherever you are, for additional, let's say, week or 2 week, let's say, uh, that you stay at home in a freeze zone, and you can do, of course, from everywhere this, and director can approve this request. this technology worked excellent, and so we were somehow in the middle of this kind of revolution. Of course, we were not like I don't know Teams from Microsoft or Zoom, but it shows in our results a lot. We don't want to say that we succeed because of COVID, but we are on the right time and the right place, and with this, what I explained before, plan, do, check, analyze, we were very successful. So planning time, planning resources, and let's say dynamic scheduling is one module. Then we have track and trace time per project, per customer. Then we have tracking absences, and then of course analyzing. This circle is embedded in our solution, and customers find out this a lot as very useful tool for COVID time.
How do you see the future of companies such as yours? You touched on this already a little bit, but I imagine workforce management solutions will become even more important in the future in case of shortening working hours, which would require more optimization. So, how do you see this development?
Yeah. Thank you for this question. I must say that I always see, I always remember this joke, American joke. If you will ask customers when there was no cars in the street, what they need, they will tell you we need faster horses, and it's known joke that then will be shit up to your over your head. Yeah. And of course, if you know technology, like the Ford at that time, no technology, they build a car instead of horses. So if you now ask me what will be in the future, you think just that there will be maybe more these flexible hours, flexible time management, which is already here, and we already built this inside of our solution. What we see from technology perspective is this artificial intelligence, which is coming, and everyone is talking these days about this, but not everyone is using this. So I learn all my speaker guys and girls that to use this technology, because it's like sometimes working depend which work you do, but it's like working on asteroids. Yeah. So especially in support, let's say, because you have a big help from these bots and chat GPT and so on. So you need to embed this technology into your solution, like we change from to internet, like we change to cloud. Now we have to build this artificial intelligence into some areas where we got the biggest help. And I see, especially in marketing and especially in some areas where will be disruptive innovation because of this. And of course, we like to get some, let's say, monopoly out of this, because our approach is that we like to be agile, we like to be lean. Because if you are small and lean, then you can very quickly adapt yourself to new technology which is arriving. And I don't know, probably you don't know that much IT business, but currently, let's say, planning of production is well done by ERP, like SAP, like Microsoft. They can plan machines, they can plan tools, they can plan raw materials, but they cannot plan that much people, because in the regarding people there is a lot of Murphy law. You know, immediately you decide to go for a holidays, you decide to work from home, you decide you are ill, and this bring to planning, to scheduling, a huge task which can be done only by computer, but it cannot be it cannot be done by paper, it cannot be done by Excel spreadsheet. And this is the area where we see the huge change. And of course artificial intelligence will come, and predictable analytics will come, and that's where we think we need to be, let's say, the first, and find out this blue ocean, because we are all swimming in the red, bloody oceans, and we are looking for blue oceans.
I think for the last question, I would like to ask you, how would you compare in general the business environment for a company such as yours in Slovenia as opposed to other countries? And of course, if you see any room for improvement.
Of course, as entrepreneur, I'm part of the, let's say, združenje manager. I'm in upravni odbor združenja manager. I'm in upravni odbor in Slovenian Business Club, and we all know that all those managers think that context and environment in Slovenia is not right for development of business, and we are pressuring a lot, and we want this change. But I always said we must first do our homework. We must first show that it's possible. And I must say that there are three important advantages which we need to use as managers, as entrepreneurs. And first advantage is that Slovenia is small, and if the country is small, then you are exporter by default. So that's why this is the main advantage of Slovenia. So we can be much quicker than big countries like Germany, like France, like Italy. That's why we need to use this first advantage. The second advantage is because we are part of I said Balkan, but it could be Adriatic. So in this area of Europe, all the changes was very big. So the only stable thing in this area is change, and that's why we are very, let's say, agile. We are very robust. I don't know, but I believe you know maybe all of wars, first and the second war. The first war for sure start in Balkan, and Slovenia go apart immediately. We lost a huge market, but we survived, and this gave us a strong. Strong, let's say, position, and let's say history learn us a lot how to bypass this problem. And the last advantage is because Slovenia is some kind of on the border between East and West. We always have our head in Europe, in smart Europe, but we have our roots in Balkan, where is very important difference from Europe. If you in Europe you will be efficient and smart. In Balkan is more, let's say, you play on now on the you play more on sensitivity, on on emotions. This is very important because when you are selling, you decide on motion or on emotions. You are not decide rationality. And I believe this combination is very important. And very often you will find then where you are, when you have between East and West, you very often you have eruption of the lava in this part. So I believe this is the last and also important part, and these are all advantages for Slovenia, and we need to use them to succeed in a global market.
Do you see anything that could currently be improved in terms of laws or something like this?
Yeah. special for sure. I see. Let's say I just lost because I believe there will be maybe some listeners from the worldwide countries. We just lost a colleague, one of the best developer, because he got a green card for US. So US is very smart. They develop, let's say, they develop approach where anyone from the world can enter the data, and then they check the data and give the green card to the smartest people, young people, and of course they take them from the countries where they cannot develop so fast. And I believe Slovenia is area where we have green, we are green country. So for us it's like a green card approach, very smart, but we didn't develop this. So we need to bring smart people back, or new smart people into Slovenia, and develop here some kind of, let's say, valley. I believe we can be a green valley on the sunny side of the Europe. This is my suggestion. So to develop Slovenia as a green valley, green country on the sunny side of Europe.
We enjoyed this illuminating conversation very much. We wish you all the best in the future and that all your aspirations come true. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us.
Thank you very much. Also from Špica, from all of my colleagues here in a company. Thank you.
Dear listeners, we thank you as well for joining us today, and as always, you are kindly invited to tune in to the next episode.